Set to go. That's Grant Vernon. With James Van Beek this afternoon.
Maxfield starting in the middle on Dwayne Lamb. Surprise.
Breeze going right to left, underway at Subiaco Oval. Schaefer gets the first tap away. Harding dragged off it. Herneman slides in, claimed by Lamb. That's Herneman under there, and we've got a whistle.
And they've opted to go with Campbell, last year's best and fairest winner for the Tigers, to pick up Matera. Should be a fine battle.
Another bounce alongside the centre circle. Overcast day, but ideal for football, as John was saying. Lees misses the ball. Lewis didn't. Down towards centre half forward. Storming through was Scott, who boots it out wide. This is Turner, close to the boundary line. Does nicely. Centering kick. Wilson arriving. But a strong mark taken in front by Campbell. Good courage. Can't play on from a mark. Free wanting to do that. But umpire Vernon insisting the ball come back. Wayne Campbell had a fine season last season and starting to pick it up again this season.
Just forward of left centre wing. Tigers with the slight breeze in the first term. Kick by Campbell to centre half forward. Hogg charges at it. Didn't quite reach him. It's tapped out cleverly, but it goes to free. He goes down from Lewis, and now the Eagles have it. Quick turnover there, up towards centre wing, and marking out at left centre wing is Jakovic. His kick to half forward, steers it low. The punch doesn't clear the area. Menegola goes off the ground. All Richmond up here. Chance for Lambert to run on the ball just inside the boundary line. Oh, the Shepherd have got Lambert as well. And the ball's out of play. Have you ever seen anything like it? John Howard went in there to crunch out West and got Lambert too.
More like billiards. This is Kemp out against the boundary line. Good Shepherd from Lewis. But Kemp just took it across the line. It will be thrown in.
Tony Free there siding Kemp, best and fairest winner for the Eagles last year, and Free, as we know, took Buckley apart last week. A fine player, very tough.
Campbell had it, then lost it. Harding, mobile as ever. Jakovic at full stretch. Good mark. Right on the boundary line. Then Jakovic. Centre half forward again today. Probing kick inside the 50. Ill-directed though. It falls behind, luckily for Hines. Knights goes in, head down, well played. Didn't have it, and then threw it. The first kick was paid, luckily for the Tigers.
His opponent appears to be Don Pike, who's manning the mark. This young player on screen, a distinct Brownlow medalist in the making. Knights
towards the wing. In front, almost to Wilson. Falls to Lamb inside the 50. Oh, great mark. Over the top, Scott. Plays on immediately. This is Young, deep in his own defensive area. Oh, Scott made it hard. Away he comes, Young, eventually, and kicks it straight to Matera. So much for all that confusion. It'll do that to you.
Often the result of a player having a bounce. Puts his head down, doesn't look upfield to see developments, and then under pressure kicks it straight back to the opposition.
No scorers yet. Daniel Metropolis goes for goal from the boundary line. He's done it again. He did it in his first game last year with 4 possessions for 4 kicks in the first quarter against St Kilda. 1 touch today. 1.
Up goes Harding, hooks it down. Pike's got it. Free kick coming back to Harding, who's been in the thick of things so far. Got one on the nose that time. Back it comes to Paul Harding then. The ground looking in very good condition today. Best it's been for some time. Harding kicks towards centre half forward. Lees takes the mark uncontested. Almost got 50 there. Lees thinks about going across the ground. Still might. No. Go for distance now. Down towards half forward. Out of position is Schaefer. Well played by Harding again. It falls to West. Strong tackle Maxfield. He emerges with the ball. He's a thumping kick. He goes from 55. Well done. The strong mark is held by Gale. Maxfield splitting the defence there. Long kick in. Tailor-made for that man, number 25.
Yes, Brendan Gale, first game for the season. Takes a fine mark after Maxfield's kick. He's a fine player, Maxfield. I like him in the middle of the ground because he's got explosive pace, and as Dennis said, a booming kick.
Sharp angle, but he can run around. That's the angle. This to tie the scores. Runs around. Pulls it back. Looks good. It's home.
A goal each in the opening 5 minutes. Knights, number 33 for the Tigers. And out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Wilson. He comes up short. Harding still back at centre wing. Campbell having to mark both players. Back to Wilson. Campbell's nearly got him too. Back to Harding. A lot of possessions to go nowhere. Now McKenna. His left footer up towards half forward. Eddie's dreams at the ball, but the path is chopped off by Knights, who courageously goes back and marks.
Richmond have already swapped their wings. Herneman now has been placed on Matera. Very quick player.
Kick by Knights. A lot of elevation for that one. Huge pack at centre wing. Ball punched on. Now the Tigers have it running. Maxfield ran a long way before his first bounce. The crowd thought there might have been a free. Herneman goes for goal and hooks the kick through for a behind.
Jeff Hogg begged the question. He was clear and was ignored. The shot was just a blaze away at goal under pressure. Early goals, when you're playing interstate, are vital just to get the confidence up and try to subdue the crowd. They're obviously one-sided.
Tigers have a nice breeze behind them. This is McIntosh. Goes in short. Ooh, showed a bit of the ball to Lambert, who outnumbered 3-1. Did very well. Still loose on the Richmond forward line. Eventually it comes to Worsfold, who hand passes towards the boundary. And it's out of bounds. Casual kick in that time. And Lambert charged at the ball, as he always does. Terrific player. Tigers by a point. Turner got it down. McQueen's hand pass. Missed by Matera. Maxfield, who's been in it, couldn't control it that time. Unluckily for Herneman, he socketed out of bounds on the full. There's Herneman. 7th man taken in last November's draft from South Fremantle. And he came from South Fremantle too. This man with the ball, Peter Matera. They would know each other. This is Pike. Chips it towards the wing. Hines should have marked it. Missed it. Scott's got it. And, well, that was interesting. I thought he was out of bounds when he kicked it. The ball spills out of bounds, and they call it against Wilson that time. It hit him just below the knee and went out, so a good call by the official, who was right on the spot.
Kick by Herneman. Back home today. Up to centre half forward. The sun is a problem, but the mark is taken down there by White.
Touched, said the umpire.
Interesting call. By whom? I think there was too many near the kicker or the man who took the mark. Knocked on by Turner, but grabbed by McKenna. His hand pass. Bit of trouble down there, but, well, they get out of it eventually. Ball.
Good play.
Pike up towards centre wing. Metropolis, danger man again. Young punches away, and the ball out of play at centre wing.
Intelligent tap on from Harding there. He knew he was about to be tackled, so rather than taking possession, just flipped the ball onto his teammate.
Harding against Schaefer. Harding palms it beautifully down to Pike. Through the packet goes. All Richmond here. And charging at the ball, Howard, who played a top game last week. Johnny Howard, who came from Melbourne with John Northey. Long kick to full forward. Gale. Ball is there. And McIntosh takes it away. Not a great clearing kick by McIntosh. Grabbed by Lewis. First possession. One way, then the other. Chris Lewis. Just over the head of the opposition. There's Metropolis overrunning. In his heady. Metropolis once more. High ball to half forward. Howard. He goes to ground. Free will take a free kick.
Well, Lees is picking up Lewis, and it just appears to be just a shade under in ability, particularly in agility, to be picking up such a mobile player.
McKenna to West. Jakovic wants it. It's put in his path. And/or Sumich, who comes from full forward, fisted away by Bullis. Well done. Free with some time. The kick comes towards the boundary from Scott. Matera the leaper. Herneman the better recovery. Now Lees right on the wing. Lees towards half forward. In front down there was Naish. Edged out of it. Socket off the ground by Knights. Good football. White on his knees. Played it well. Worsfold in trouble. Oh, he's a bit lucky there. But it's coming back. We'll go to White. I was going to say there didn't seem much in that tackle on Worsfold. There's Pike. McKenna's got it. Hines is coming off. Trappe is coming on. So Michael Malthouse has seen something. McKenna to West. They can score a goal here. West can run to 55. There was a man on in the pocket. He goes for length. Back goes Metropolis. Could have almost got a free.
That man Djakovic is still disputing and arguing with his teammate. Where was the kick?
Trying to get it to Lambert, but perhaps could have got a free kick as well. Clappe to Heady. Oh, good tackle by Howard holding the ball.
Yes, it was the vice-like tackle by Howard which forced the throw by Heady. Low-scoring affair. Richmond 1-1. Eagles 1 goal. The pass is good to Lees. Kick by Lees towards half-forward. McQueen sets himself with McKenna. Oh, McKenna. Top mark. Just adjusting the boot. Just over a century of AFL games. Comes out towards Worsfold. His pass over the wing to Metropolis at half-forward. Young did well. Looked as though he's almost going to be nudged out of it by Metropolis, but just got the fist of the ball and saw the safety of the boundary line. Rob Wiley, the runner, on the ground, having a word to Chris Lewis.
His old mate didn't bring up on the boundary line. Dale Waitman close to the boundary line. Matera can't keep it in.
Kemp's been moved out of the centre of the forward pocket for the Eagles, and Brett Heady has been given a run in the middle. He's being followed everywhere by Free now.
Harding wins it down again. He's been superb so far. Young, Herneman. This is Lambert towards centre half forward. McQueen's in front, body to body with McKenna, almost to McQueen. Wilson crashes in, surrounded, lost it. Naish, well played, about 60 metres from goal to Lambert. McQueen is on. He elects to go to the pocket. He's got a 2-on-1 down there, and the mark is taken by Turner. And Turner will kick from just outside the 50, but kicking goals isn't his forte. Having said that, of course,
watch him drill it.
Absolutely. He likes his chances. Scott Turner. The breeze will help him. He'll push it right to left, but he starts at left. He'll be lucky to get it behind. Out of bounds on the full in the left full forward pocket.
Well, a very static forward line from the Tigers there. They didn't even attempt to give him another option. Hogg remaining stationary in the deep in the square.
Harding marks the kick in by McIntosh. Just outside the 50. Now the kick up to centre wing. Heady is there. Punch away by Lees. Howard. And the umpire will ball it up. Umpires James Van Beek and Grant Vernon today. And it's a low-scoring, man-on-man type contest so far. 1 goal each.
Lamb and Lambert both nullifying each other at this stage.
Well, neither ruckman just about touched it. Off the ground goes Free. Well done. Inside the 50. Chance for the Tigers. Hogg comes at it. Worsfold pumps it for the boundary line. There's a bit of a collision with Hogg. The two captains, and the ball out of play. And Worsfold might have come out the worse for wear from it. Just felt his shoulder there a bit.
Must like Hogg. Haven't seen him help too many up. There's the throw in. Turner backhands it. McIntosh under pressure. Runs it across the boundary line.
This will be a good battle, McIntosh and Hogg. McIntosh, of course, had 6 goals kicked against him last week by Modra, but 4, I think, coming in the first quarter. So he fought back well to have a good second half.
One of their better players, strange to relate, in that game as Naish goes on goal and kicks it behind. 12.5 minutes remaining till quarter time.
His opponent, of course, Hogg, kicked 7 after missing the first game, and really did cap off the good work of the midfielders for Richmond against the Brisbane Bears. What a difference he did make to their side.
Well, the Tigers have wasted a fair bit of time with this breeze. They've been in attack, but not kicking goals as McKenna comes to the members' side. Ball and Lambert. Oh, clever mark. Conceding a lot of height. Ball drifting his way on the breeze. This is Knights. Can they manufacture a goal here? Long kick in from the side. Gale. It's going to be a free kick to McIntosh. I think Hogg was climbing over him. Gale's oblivious to that because it didn't concern him really.
Well, one would assume that Hogg has been given the task of being the leader, Gale the big mark, and yet they both wanted to take the grab on that occasion.
McIntosh to Heady. That was a good hack mark. In from the side. Kept it cleanly.
Well, Heady, of course, had a big hand in winning the grand final for the Eagles going into the centre after half-time, and I like him in that position.
Howard spoils Djakovic. Knights. Off he goes to Schaefer. And now Campbell is kicked to full forward. McIntosh punches away from Hogg. Chance for McQueen at ground level. Good use of the body on McKenna. The hand pass into Hogg, good. Back to McQueen. Now they're gaining ground. Campbell, 47 metres out. Long shot for goal offline. And bounces out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Yeah, a bit of a nothing kick, that one from Campbell. He wasn't under a great deal of pressure. Didn't really sight the goals. Just blazed away.
Low scoring, 1-2 to 1 goal. We're midway through the first quarter. Palm down to Hogg, who snaps a goal.
Jeff Hogg gets his first goal, the Tigers' second. He missed the first game against Adelaide. 7 last week as they won against the Bears. Off the ground by Pike, down towards half forward. Scott miscues slightly. Clappe did well. This is Matera, 60 metres out. Sumich. Okay, Peter Sumich has kicked 9-13 this season. And the crowd will be very interested in this kick.
Have a look at this pass from Matera. That's pinpoint precision. One of the reasons why the Eagles are a class above most sides. But in golfing parlance, this man has a case of the yips. Can kick them from all angles except stationary shots. So perhaps today will be a different story.
He's missed to the near side. Have you got a broomstick?
Well, I think he should try something, and perhaps getting a set routine before his goal kicking would be a good start. You know, Stuart Lowe from St Kilda has tried under the guidance of Peter Hudson. That may be the answer for the goal kicking machine of the West Coast.
Lees has the ball as the sun breaks through. He kicks around the outer side. Scott Turner, the leaper. I thought he marked it. Crowd don't like it. It's going to be a Richmond ball.
It is an incredible situation, Dennis, when you consider the miraculous goals that Peter Sumich can kick, and yet from 40 metres out, often misses the easy.
Yes, there's a contradiction. He finishes up with stats like a ruck rover some days for 4 and 5 goals. This is McKenna on the outer side. McKenna, left half back. He started well. Took a hard knock last week in the head. Jonathan Ross got him with a knee accidentally. Down goes Lewis meantime. Oh, taken high was free, and he'll get the free kick.
Made the most of it. Lambert in a bit of a dust-up behind the plate.
Wayne Lamb tagging to a new height on that occasion.
The kick by Free, up towards the logo. A lot of people there. Turner's marked again. Boy from Ararat, who played under-19s for Melbourne and Collingwood. Passes well to Hogg. Can't take the mark just on the 50. It's socket off the ground by Naish. The skipper's back there, Worsfold. Twisting and turning and finding a man and hitting Wilson on the chest.
One of the great beauties of Worsfold's game is he's a great mop, always cleaning up, working back into defence to help his teammates.
Kemp, 2-1 against the Eagles here, but the one-man Jakovic takes the mark. On centre wing, Len Jakovic goes long. Sumich after it. Bullis is his man. It hits the turf at the back. Metropolis went to ground, making it easy for Young, who went straight for the boundary line, but the umpire calls for the throw-in. 14-7, Richmond leading.
Tossed in, Jakovic centres the ball with his fist. This is Bullis. He was taken high. Goes across the ground, intended for Schaefer. Now the big man will need to do some work here. Harding got him cold. Kemp comes away. Bad decision making in defence, but Kemp doesn't make them pay.
Poor skills there from Bullis. He had 2 options. Put it over the head of Schaefer, put him under enormous pressure, and should have resulted in a goal to the Eagles. Fortunately for him, he gets another opportunity.
Goes for distance this time, as you'd expect. Harding in front. He's been terrific so far, Harding. He was off the ground early last week, a surprise to some. There's no more willing worker. He's at left half forward, centres it. Sumich under the ball, Clappe in from the side. Scott got his fingertips to it. Heady goes out. Scott slides in, ties it up, whistle.
Well, the game going exactly the way Richmond would like it at the moment. They've pretty much blocked off the Eagles running and goal scoring, and they've managed just 1 goal so far, the reigning premiers. Here's Lambert breaking from half back. He's kicked just short of centre wing. Over Lees it goes, and a sliding diving mark taken by McKenna. Off to Wilson. On the left boot, Wilson. Back to Lambert, who marks it right half back.
This is where Richmond have to have one of their big men working up the ground, because last time Lambert got the ball, he looked up and only saw Paul Harding.
Campbell
need some targets.
Campbell covered good ground and found McQueen with a beautiful kick. Hogg, what a passage of play by the Tigers, and a great mark by the skipper.
Terrific mark, that one.
And this is what separates good full forwards from mediocre. What a magnificent kick from McQueen. I'm not sure if he did take it the second time. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, as did the umpire.
Well,
that is classical football.
Even the Eagles crowd didn't go crook when the mark was paid. Hogg for his second goal. Close to the right goal post. Silent signals a 20 plays 8. A 2-goal lead to Richmond. Clappe gets the hand pass to Kemp, and the Eagles break out of the middle. In front is Heady. A diving mark low to the ground. Sumich trying to break away from Bullis in the goal square.
And Heady leading Menengola to the ball. Menengola has the job on the interchange ruck rovers, Heady and Kemp. And at kick-outs, the mongrel kick always drops into that position, the hole, and backman must be ready for it.
Brett Heady played plenty of football here at Subiaco. Goes for goal and kicks it.
Just under 5.5 minutes till quarter time. There's our scoreline. Lees had it a long time. Well, to him, says the umpire. Three 2 to 2-2. Richmond have the breeze. Free. Also had plenty of the ball as Pike goes to half forward. And White. This is Lewis. Looking for Sumich. Sumich, did he have hold of the full forward Bullis? Not according to the umpire. Heady tried to keep it in. Hello, Wayne Harms, but it went out, and it will be thrown in the pocket.
And it looked like Sumich was the first person to infringe on that occasion. But no decision from the umpire. 50-50. Good decision to let it go.
Tossed in. Metropolis in front. Tigers surround the ball. Knights comes away with it nicely. Loots it to midfield. All Eagles. Worsfold up, takes the mark, but McKenna, I think, was interfered with off the ball, trying to keep McQueen out. He chips it across. This is Clappe. He was off. Oh, 50 metres, says the umpire. That is very tough.
That is a very ordinary rule. Small infringements gain 50.
I think it's a great rule, but not very well interpreted there.
Well, I have to disagree with you, Dennis, because I reckon it's one of the blights on our game. And I believe something should be done about it very quickly.
Well, Clappe finds himself about 25 metres out from goal. No question he was off. Clappe kicks. Goal umpire goes down. Is it a goal? Yeah.
Just over 4 minutes to quarter time. 3-2 apiece at Subiaco Oval. And the Eagles, the premiers, have kicked the last 2 goals. Not coming out of there in a hurry. 20 players around that, and the umpire will ball it up again.
It's Richmond playing a very open forward line. They have their pockets and their flanks up on the ball, trying to crowd the Eagles. And that's one way that Melbourne clubs believe they can get on top of the Eagles. Crowd them up through midfield and in their attacking zones.
Schaefer gets a hand to it in ruck, but Lewis goes off the ground. Matera. Clever football by Matera, then slung in the tackle and threw it in the tackle.
So both arms are retarded. He had no option but to let the ball go, which was constituted as a throw by the umpire. And why wasn't that 50 from John Worsfold?
Good question.
So Tony Free, who has the job, and now with the free kick. Up towards the 50-metre line. Gale goes up. Interfered with and gets the free kick.
Well, it didn't look a great deal in this. Let's have a look at the punch from Mitchell White from behind. I would say that was fairly reasonable.
He's a long way out. I think he's worried about the distance. The breeze is slightly behind, but mostly across him. And it is a huge distance. He goes for everything. It comes in short. It bounces. Behind.
The old leggy.
Enough to give the Tigers the lead by a point.
Just over 2.5 minutes till quarter time.
I think he needed the arm ball on that occasion, Dennis.
You're right. So Subi is taking spin this afternoon as ball has it in the back pocket. High floater, members side. Over the top, Knights, terrific grab, but the kick is going to Matera. Pushed in the back, according to the umpire. Had a perfect angle on it. Matera kicks into space, and drifting in there is West. Well-weighted kick. West.
Poor handball, put the player under pressure.
Not much there. Kemp floats one towards half forward. A good mark is held by the smallest man in that vicinity. That's Naish. Chris Naish, forward of left half back. The Tigers playing strongly at the present time. Oh, great grab. Jakovic.
As Mitchell White now has been moved onto the half-forward line, Jakovic going into defence.
McKenna has it. Worsfold is on across the ground. McKenna secures the angle and goes to Worsfold, but good play there by McQueen. Made it difficult. Worsfold swings it out wide. Heady on the lead. Ball free behind he and Menegola. Well played there by Heady. Great courage. This is White. Gets it on. Strong tackle by Lambert on West. Brought him down. Lamb goes over the top. Opportunity there for White. West head down. Hurried kick. Gained about 10 metres. Schaefer's dropped it. Eventually it's free. Free towards midfield, and Turner goes up to claim the mark.
And Turner's given them something to kick to. A bit of size, and he's marked well. It's tapped on cleverly here by Knights, giving Herneman a chance. He can't pick up the ball. Gets crunched to the ground. Gale does well, but it's all Eagles at ground level. Scooped in one-handed by Kemp. Kicked by Kemp. Harding centre of the ground. No mark. Down to Lamb. West. Spun round, and a good tackle by Lees. Nothing doing for that. And the umpire will ball it up.
Well, the Tigers in their opening round game against the Crows produced a fairly insipid performance with poor tackling after a great Foster's Cup where the gang tackle was a real factor in them winning, and it appears today that they're back to their best in the tackling stakes, and there's another one, although it will be judged a penalty.
A free against free.
Kemp chips it out wide. Worsfold is forward at the wing. Long kick. Down towards the kickoff line. Lewis is there. They come from everywhere. It runs free behind. Sumich now in the pocket. He's likely to kick this. He has. Well, explain that to me. Peter Sumich puts the West Coasters in front.
Well, this is a classic example of what we were saying. The less time Peter Sumich has to think about kicking the goal, the far better it is. He had a look inboard. He saw Brett Heady, but elected to go for it himself, and what a classic goal to get his first for the day, his 10th of the season.
Well, it's almost like Peter Dacos. He needs a degree of difficulty before he kicks them. Back in the centre, whistle, Richmond free kick. 6 seconds to go to quarter time. It looked all along as though Richmond would lead, but the Premiers have their noses in front at the first siren. And there it is, quarter time at Subiaco Oval. And it's the West Coast Eagles, 4-2-26, Richmond. So at the start of the second quarter, it's the Eagles by 5 points. Not having things all their own way. Bounce favours Harding. Schaefer came to close the gap. Kemp the first touch, but the first possession goes to Knights. A tough one out of there. Jakovic takes the mark. Gets some run from Wilson. His kick very wide, not to the advantage of the team. And he might get a phone call from the coach on that one.
Lambert and Lambs began on the wing. Most unusual, both centre bounce players.
Oh, Lambert gets it going out in front of him. And Lamb is the one who comes out with it. Kicks towards the goal square. The punch comes from behind. Clappe Robes off the right. Not a bad effort, but just offline.
Probably should have done better. Had a bit of time. Some good shepherding. Menegola, recruited from Swan Districts, was compensation for the Crows signing Andrew Pays. He'll kick it in. He's having a look and decides to come members side. Bullis the target, and he's in best position to mark, and does. Good kick out in front. Bullis right half back. Wobbles one down towards the wing. Campbell almost the clever mark. Wilson slides in, ties it up for the West Coast Eagles. So the Eagles have use of the breeze now. It's the westerly Fremantle doctor, famous around the country, going down towards the city end of Subiaco. Jakovic hooks it down. Lees. Knights wanting his left side, in trouble. Eventually Turner across the body, floats one towards half forward. Free, kept his eye on the ball. It wouldn't sort of just come his way though. He lost track of it momentarily and it bounced out of bounds ahead of Worsfold. So a throw in down towards right half forward for the Tigers. Would like an early goal here. Harding, who's dominated, got it down. Lamb, who boots it towards the wing. White to Lewis, quick hands. Lewis for open space. Here comes Sumich. He's kicked one. Awkward half volley. Now Sumich is out at half forward. Who's more nimble here? Turns out it's Sumich. He can kick on the breeze. Goes long but slides it across the face. It bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket.
Poor tackle there from Bullis. One would expect that Sumich would duck around onto his left foot, and he appeared to be sucked in by the balk. Didn't keep his eyes on the hips, which gave Sumich a chance to get the kick away.
And I was expecting Sumich to kick the goal from a mile out. Umpire will ball this up. So the Eagles had a 5-point lead at quarter time after going into the breeze. Now they have the slight breeze in the second quarter. It's not very strong. In their forward pocket. Heady knocked over by Lambert. Lambert goes towards the boundary line. His hand pass blind. Clappe. Clever evasive skills. Menegola gets one out. Eventually a hurried kick by Free. Campbell. Left. Punch from behind by Jakovic. And the ball out of play near centre wing.
Your excellent play by Campbell. One of the problems Richmond had on that occasion was that Campbell had to beat 2-on-1 because they've got the extra man down in defence, and Harding's just dropping back, kick behind the play.
Turner and Jakovic. Turner wins this one, gives Free a chance. Well, he dropped it, tried to get a kick. Lambert came in to help him out. The hand pass to Naish, running out of room, cleverly keeps it in. McQueen running onto it, won't get there. Gale comes down from the forward line. Oh, it's passed out, thrown out, and now a high tackle. It's a Richmond free kick to Free. The short pass is just over the head of Turner. Hogg can't take the mark, and it's all the Eagles now.
Had to go to Maxfield. He was there for a very long time at centre half forward. Eventually, Kemp gives it to West, who drives it around the outer side. Clappe in front of Scott. Plays on immediately. This is Kemp. Good run from Dean Kemp. He kicks inside the 50. Sumich, another awkward half volley for him. Matera, he feeds off that. Good strong tackle down there by Howard, and as a result Knights comes away with it. Bullis around the outer side towards half forward, and Campbell. Maxfield demanding the ball. Campbell hangs on to it. Now centres. Good option too. Lambert. Metres in the clear. Lambert for space, looking for Hogg. Back comes McKenna. Well played by McIntosh. Got a hand in there and races away. He's very quick. Great defence, McIntosh. Running it across the line. It will be thrown in about 70 metres out from Richmond's attacking goal. And they trail by 6 points. And they're having a dip. Lambert couldn't control it. Knights carried forward in the tackle surely, and he'll get the free kick.
Lambert actually played the role of a ruckman then. And Knights a bit slow to get up. He knows he's got the free kick. Took a heavy collision there.
He's got a very open forward line to kick into. Jakovic is just dropping back into the space to block up the lead, which must come from Hogg. Here it is now.
Hogg trying to get away from McIntosh. It goes straight towards the goal square. And an excellent mark by McKenna.
It's an area in AFL football that will develop, I'm sure. Set plays into the forward line. It's been tried by a lot of coaches, but I don't think, because we're not professional, we don't have enough time to really develop it. As the game goes that way, so too with the set plays.
Worsfold, a shocking kick here. Free a chance on the 50. Hurried kick. McQueen. Past Jakovic. Hogg goes back with his hand pass. Turner 40 out. 45 is Knights. His left footer. A raking kick. A beauty.
27 apiece then. Fine goal to the Tigers. Pike gets his second opportunity. Over the ball is Lamb, going nowhere. Quite a few of the West Coast Eagles have changed their Guernseys at quarter time. Matera didn't have it. Still he goes down towards centre half forward, then left it behind. Picked up by Maxfield, who boots it out wide towards the wing. Jakovic leads in the race out there. Jakovic, well done. With some time now on the wing. Goes down towards the 50-metre line. From behind, the big leap down there. I think it was Metropolis. He couldn't hang on. Menegola comes away with it in any case. Boots it back towards the ring. Worsfold is up. Didn't hang on. Hurried kick. Maxfield favoured by that kick. Inside the centre square. Goes for the long bomb. Out comes Gale. With him is Ball. Gale kept his footing. Well done by Worsfold to track him down. Great defence. McKenna coolly. Across to McIntosh. To Ball. They did it well, and this is the man who set it up for them. Worsfold finds Lewis. Interesting, Harding's got number 16. I think Pike is wearing number 15 at the moment.
I don't know whether you get fined for that. It would have to be a decent reason for it.
Well, often they get blood on the jumper and they're forced to make a change. Perhaps that was it.
I think that is it.
Well, Pike did have blood, yeah. And a poor kick to the forward line, intercepted by Herneman.
I think the Tigers are lacking across half forward. They've got Brendan Gale sitting down in the forward pocket. I don't mind him staying there, but if there's a space and an attack coming through and a vacant space, he must push up into the open area to give the midfielders something to aim at.
Menegola, a great punch out. And a chance here for the Eagles through White. At centre half forward, Heady, 35 metres out. And Bullis got his chest to it and saw it through for a behind. The Eagles lead by that point.
Here's Bullis then. Taking his time, pleading with his teammates. Always looks terrible, that. Bullis towards the outer side. Herneman, the leaper from behind. Great mark in front, Matera. All about timing that mark. Herneman went higher. Matera did best.
It's all about failing to spoil, too. Herneman had the eyes set on Big Mark himself.
This breeze is strengthening all the time. That windsock fully extended now, and Matera kicking right on the breeze. Long kick sliding across the face, off hands. Opportunity down there for Clappe. What's he done? He's missed.
Well, the Tigers have to get their house in order at the kick-ins. The Eagles are doing quite well, manning up and returning it back into the forward line at will.
Menegola's kick comes off Schaefer. Back to Maxfield. Round the corner he goes, over centre wing. Chance for Lees to run onto this in a bit of space. Brian Lees, left footer to the forward line. Hogg works to the front and marks. Let's full back to full forward in a trice.
Jeff Hogg looks a far more accomplished player and dangerous player when he's on the lead. And when the Tigers, the key to the whole aspect is when the Tigers bring the ball down quickly, it doesn't give McIntosh a chance to use his pace. That is his big asset as a full-back.
35 metres out. Jeff Hogg for his third. A hat-trick.
Back in the middle, Jakovic tries to go off the ground. Down goes Harding. He was taken high. Will he get a free kick? As he pushed in the back. One or other. Here's the windsock going down towards the city end. Behind the Eagles. McKenna out to Pike. Pike, long probing kick inside the 50. In front was Metropolis. Howard playing. Took a long time to release it. Menegola stood up in the tackle, did well. This is Howard again. Too easily past Clappe. Boots it out wide. Good kick too under pressure. Lees takes the mark on his knees. 5-3 Richmond, 4-5 the Eagles. The Tigers terrific this afternoon so far. Loose ball at half forward for them. Worsfold with courage.
It's been very good so far today.
Wilson to McKenna, who also has been tidy. Their half-back line has been their best line. McKenna long down towards half forward. Howard, it's been a valuable acquisition. Clappe somehow got it to White, who centres it. Free does best. Oh.
Yes, the Tigers have made a change. They've moved Free onto Lewis, and Lees is now picking up Dean Kemp. Free certainly made to earn that free kick.
Tony Free, deep in his own defensive half. Sends play towards the outer side wing. Menegola, nicely done. Maxfield's away with space. This could result in a goal. McQueen is on for the centre. He's got it now. He ambles into goal. 25 metres out, McQueen, and kicks it.
Who really was being a little bit quiet up until that point in time.
Back in the centre. And Richmond with another tidy break. They squandered it in the first quarter when the Eagles kicked the last 3 goals of the first term. Nothing doing in the middle here. 6-3 to 4 goals 5. And there is Pike, who started with number 10, now with number 15. Harding and Schaefer. Harding at the second attempt. Still doesn't clear the area. Scott loses it backwards. Menegola charges at it with his feet. He loses ground as well. Boundary line will be a happy sight for the Tigers here. Clappe charging through. White gets it to West. He's kicked from 45 metres. A beauty. Their first goal for the term.
Just over 13 minutes remaining then till half-time. Schaefer had the run. Maxfield the kick towards half-forward. McKenna goes back. So off in his roll. Look out. Did brilliantly. Hogg was making a beeline, but McKenna sensed he was coming. Wilson goes over the top as Waterman is coming on. West is off the ground. Meantime, Wilson charges out of defence. Clappe to Kemp. It took a while, but they did get it out. Kemp looking for Lewis. Showed some courage at that ball. White left it behind. Socket forward by Lamb, who was held without it. Still they go. Lamb at close quarters to Waterman, back in the team this afternoon. This is White's standing kick. Wayward kick. Out of bounds on the full.
Interesting. West came off just after kicking the goal. I'm not sure he was the bloke they intended to replace. I have a vague idea it might be Lamb. West is still standing there as though he's about to come back on.
Wrong number, you see. No, neither of those guys were involved in the jumper swapping, were they?
No matter the point, I think it's good to see Waterman back on the ground.
West would like to see West back on the ground. He's waiting to get out there again. Champing at the bit as Harding gets it down. Scott thumps it towards the boundary, and it runs out of bounds. So the margin is 4 points. The Tigers lead, approaching half-time.
West still reckons he should be out there. Rob Wiley, the runner, is amongst this big group of players, and I think the man who should be coming off is not listening. Chance here for the Eagles. It goes forward. Oh, overrun badly down there by Metropolis.
Great tackle there, Lewis.
And the umpire's going to ball this up right in front of goals, about 20 metres out.
One sense is that the Eagles just feel they're under a little bit of pressure here. Of course, they trail on the scoreboard by 4 points. And they really appear to have lifted their work rate in the last couple of minutes.
Thump towards goal. Well done by Free to burst through that pack. How did he do that? Turner has marked really well today. He's got a tough opponent in Jakovic. We would have taken 4 or 5 overhead marks, Scott Turner. He dashes off with this one. Puts Jakovic to the test and gets away from him. High ball. Chance for Hogg. Oh, great mark. Free kick or mark, but he marked it anyway.
Well, Drew, it was Lewis that was intended to come off. West back on the ground. But more importantly for Tiger supporters, Turner gets the ball down quickly. No question that McIntosh was impeding Hogg, who basically took the mark anyway. Tigers can get further ahead.
Going for his 4th straight goal, but he's hooked it. An unusual blemish for Hogg, who's usually such a straight kick. 40-35, the Tigers lead midway through the second quarter.
Would have been a very handy goal, that one. There's McKenna. Short. Worsfold. Deep in the back pocket. Hesitates. Now he goes over the top to Pike. Back to Worsfold. He's half back now. He kicks towards the wing. Just it away from Waterman, but he finds it again on the ground and boots it down inside the attacking 50. Clappe under the ball. Out comes Sumich. Wrestling almost with Bullis. Bullis didn't have it. And he'll get the free kick.
He's done well so far, Bullis, in the body-to-body competitions with Sumich. Just managing to get that inch in front. Perhaps he has an edge in pace over Sumich.
Bullis out wide. Good mark by Maxfield.
He's been very impressive also. Certainly has had the better of West.
Celebrating in style today. He turned 21 on Friday. He boots it high towards the wing. In front, Jakovic. It falls behind. McKenna tried to do the right thing and was taken high. He tried to slap it across to the man cruising past. That was Worsfold. As always, McKenna, one of the trumps for the Eagles this afternoon. He's been required. It's been on the forward line for the Tigers quite often. Jakovic pumps it in. Pumped towards the boundary line by Scott. Maxfield, I think, content to run it across.
Well, we had a very high-scoring draw last week between Essendon and Carlton. This is close, but it's low-scoring, and it's no less attractive because of it. Palm down, Waterman on the run. His left footer goes across the face of goals and misses to the right. Waterman, who just came off the bench. Richmond haven't used their interchange players yet. Still Waitman and Breman waiting for their chance. And Breman kicked 5 goals in this game last year against his old team, the West Coast Eagles. Maybe a bit of a surprise that he hasn't been used yet.
Bullis again. Up from the back pocket. 8.5 minutes till half-time. Pike couldn't control it. Schaefer. Lambert now. They're looking very good at the present time as the chip pass comes from Young and is marked by Herneman.
The reason is, of course, that the Tigers are winning in the one-on-one battles in the middle. Lambert is getting his share of possession, particularly this quarter. Knights and Pike are probably 50-50. Kemp has had a change of position. He's moved onto Lambert.
Heady in front, has it fisted away by Menegola. Matera feeds Heady now. Heady kicks inside the 50. Sumich in front. Bullis works around him, gets a fist on it. Waterman had a few possessions, but too slow that time. Well done by White. Bounces off Howard, centers the ball. Heady had to wait. Lambert confronted him. The Eagles have got the numbers. Lamb, out of the congestion, bounces it out of bounds in the right full forward pocket.
Just to repeat that tagging change, Kemp has been moved on to Maxfield, just reiterating that Maxfield really was giving West the stick. West has gone on to free. Kemp now trying to tie down some of the Tiger runners.
Sumich clean possession. Free couldn't get his boot to the ball. Chance now for the Eagles. Heady back over his shoulder. Hooked it back too far. But a mark inside the field of play. It is. I'm expecting that to be out of bounds on the full. But the mark taken right on the line.
They've taken a lot of snapshots today, the Eagles, with men on in better positions.
Eagles down by 4 points. Clappe tries to improve the angle. They're now down by 3 points.
Dennis, it was interesting last week against the Crows where Malthouse really didn't change his on-ball positions as we've seen him do today. McGuinness, 34 possessions. Dwayne Land stayed with him all day. Jarman, 31. Had Kemp all day and McDermott, 31. And he was on Pike all day. So perhaps the changing of the on-ball players is in response to the loss last week.
The Eagles have kicked just 1 goal for with the breeze in this quarter, and Clappe has kicked 3 of those behinds.
Wilson twisting and turning. Does pretty well in a tight situation. Gets the ball to Worsfold. It bounces off his chest and goes out of bounds. Well, there were 2 players out there for the Eagles. About 25 metres in the clear when the ball bounced off Worsfold's chest. There's Breman waiting to come on. Tossed in.
Schaefer coming off the ground for the Tigers.
So Turner is doing the rucking now, and he won that one. And it will be a ball up on the wing. So Richmond started badly as Schaefer comes off the ground. When I say started badly, I'm talking about the season against Adelaide after a terrific Foster's Cup campaign. Did well against the Bears 9 days ago. They're playing very well this afternoon. Worsfold, after Turner won another ruck knock. Pike inside the 50. It almost been a free to the man in front. In fact, he's going to get one. Push in the back against Howard.
He really has resurrected his career under John Northey at Richmond. A fringe player at Melbourne.
Yes, just played the 10 games over about 4 or 5 seasons as he boots it towards the outer side. Gale is up. Here's another player who was developing, and then suddenly his development
hit a brick wall.
Yeah, it did. Dropped right away, but he'd be handy if he could get back and in form. This is McKenna again sweeping across half back.
And his hand pass to Pike is good. Good running by Kemp. The pass inside the 50, looking for Heady. Climbing all over him, Menegola. No mark. Metropolis, number 21. Up to Heady. But he's taken off the ball, and Richmond forced the ball up, which is good defensive play. There's another interchange going on here, and Dale Waitman, welcome back to senior football, 1993 to the veteran. He's been the skipper the last 5 years and about to have his first run in competition football this year. Good
move by Northey because Nash is being well and truly covered by skipper Worsfold for the Eagles. and he is well used to kicking goals on this ground. In fact, he's kicked many a goal in State of Origin football at this very venue.
Tigers leading by 3 points. Just under 5 minutes to go to half-time. It's tight, it's close, it's defensive. There's no easy kicks out there. Ask Robbie West. In fact, he couldn't get anything to it. Hand or foot holding the ball. Free kick Richmond.
We did try to barge through a couple of players there. There were a number of players scragging him. Young got the free kick.
Drives it towards the outer side. In front, Gale does well. Jakovic was intent on spoiling. Couldn't. Gale barking some instructions there too. Just over 4 minutes till half-time as he boots it through centre. Queen got a hand to it, couldn't control it. Now Howard has it in front. Worsfold came across strongly. Waitman, terrific stuff. Great to see. Lees gets it across to Howard. Now an opportunity for Free, looking for Hogg. Oh, should have got the free kick. Well, not according to the umpire. Down goes Kemp.
Well, that was definitely a free kick.
Play goes on. Bremen snaps. Good-looking effort. Back goes McKenna again, as always. Mr. Reliable. Gets it through for a behind. Well, here's Hogg initially on the lead.
Yes, grab of the jumper with the left hand from McIntosh. Brought Hogg to the ground. There's also a push in the back to Kemp, which the umpire elected to ignore.
Well, even up is fair play. McKenna.
Not when one's going to shoot a goal, unfortunately.
Clappo misses the mark.
And these are mistakes the Eagles are making, which you don't expect. The reigning premiers, they haven't really got their form going early this season, but it must be said it was the same last season. They won the premiership after a very shaky start to the season. Here go the Tigers again. Knights up to the goal square. Hogg one out with McIntosh, and McIntosh does superbly this time, and fairly.
Well, it's not often you can criticise Knights for poor vision, but on that occasion the chip over the top would have seen Free on his own, but he elected to go long, perhaps under coach's instructions to get the ball down to Hogg. But you're right, Drew, in round 6 last year the Eagles were 2 wins, 3 losses and a draw, and looking down the barrel. Perhaps they are going to be known as slow starters.
What a mark that was by McQueen, going in the same direction as the ball. Margin is 5 points. Tigers in front. They started the quarter. That margin down. McIntosh drops the mark. He comes out to Worsfold, and his short pass across the ground to Jakovic.
Jakovic, left half back. Here's Knights in front again with some time. Cuts back onto that left foot. Well shepherded by Maxfield.
Oh.
Beautiful pass to Hogg.
That was a bullet. That was a sensational kick. It must have gone maybe 7 feet above the ground, because Flea Waitman couldn't even get a finger on it. Maybe 8 feet, but that was a fantastic exhibition of football skills.
He's kicked 3 this afternoon, Jeff Hogg. This for an 11-point lead. Just sliding across the face. I think he's missed. He has. Misses to the far side. So just over 2 minutes remaining till half-time. And the lead now is out to 6 points. 43 plays 37.
So that's his second easy miss for the quarter, Hogg. Not used to seeing him miss those ones. Perhaps it'll be costly at the end of the day.
McKenna. Wilson is on. There's that.
This time the Tigers really doing well in defence. McKenna may get this ball taken off him if he isn't quick.
Well, getting very restless. McKenna goes in short eventually to Waterman. What about the hand pass? Now he kicks it towards the wing. In front, Gale. Almost the mark. Juggled it across the line. It'll be thrown in. He's looking impressive today, Gale.
Because I think he's better when he's up amongst the play rather than stuck in the forward pocket, either in the ruck or at centre forward.
Terrific size. Lamb out of mid-air. Moves the ball about 10 metres. It bounces back to accommodate Clappo. Bit of luck there. Kemp goes down towards half-court. Good pass. Good mark to Robbie West. Almost be 50. It is 50 now. Well, he was flirting with disaster there, Brian Lees. And because of the 50, West has a great opportunity to kick his second goal and level the scores.
Well, that, of course, is the reason why the rule was introduced, to penalise sides that were hell-bent on holding up forward play. Kevin Sheedy, of course, was the one that was most criticised for that back in the mid-80s. Too often the umpires get it wrong.
Here's West. He steers it through.
One day Ron Barassi will, and his team of rule-making men will decide this is a bodgy of a rule, despite your liking of it, Dennis.
We'll see.
Minute to go to half-time. Scores level. Top game of football. And the fighting and the manning up and the scratching and the tackling has just been superb, and I suppose exemplified by the little man there in the long sleeves, number 4, Craig Lambert.
Strange to see him at the bottom of a pack.
No. I suppose that's why he wears long sleeves. He'd finish up with no skin on his elbows for his entire life. Gets bundled out of this one. Clappe, no distance. Turner tries to slap the ball free. Kemp buried, smothered. The umpire comes in and will ball it up.
Once again, desperation from Knights there. Usually he was out of position. And we see umpire changing. Well, just giving Lambert a little bit of a talking to. So Craig wasn't too impressed with his decision. But Knights using the desperation, out of position, and retarded 2 Eagles players there with good, strong use of the arms.
Running down to half-time. Lambert in the thick of it again. Just butters up every time, Craig Lambert. Almost half-time then. Wait for the siren. It's all to do again, because at half-time it's all square. 6-7-43 apiece. And the Tigers, probably on balance, have been the better side so far. And Lambert continues his discussion with umpire James Van Beek as they come off the ground. Well, it seems a little... No, it's not one-sided. I was going to say umpire Van Beek was having the best of it, but Lambert... I think Lambert on points has got more words in, that's for sure. The umpire does the, I think, wise thing and just runs away. There's Dean Kemp, one of the better players for the West Coast Eagles till half-time. So at the half, it's all even. Penalised for holding the ball. That's tough.
Yes, he was taken high. Umpire didn't see it, maybe blocked by a player. Here we have a look. Knights round the neck with Wilson's arm. And then umpire rubs salt in the wound by paying it against him.
Pike took the kick. Here's Waterman in front. Hasn't got it. Play goes on. Matera hugs the boundary with a kick. Lewis, that's a better mark. He was taken off the ground for dropping a chest mark in the second turn. Little chip pass over the top. This is Heady. Thought about going. And holds up about 30 metres from goal on a 45-degree angle. Now, he'll go close from here, no question about that. Should kick it. Metropolis kicked a very good goal, the first of the game, from a little deeper than this, and this is just down the player's race. And Heady, like Metropolis, a Subiaco player, so he's kicked plenty from here. Players tend to congregate just down the race and have a kick. You know this like the back of his hand. Having said that, it's a behind.
Every time.
The Eagles lead.
Brendan Gale's been moved to centre-half forward, being manned up by Jakovic. I'd rather him out in the play at centre-half forward, being clammed up, creating a real adversary almost for Jeff Hogg.
Kick in by Bullis to centre-half back. Corridor football, and that's the way he kicked it in. Normally kicked it into the flanks. And the Eagles have it on the 50 right in front, which is dangerous. But what a smother by Knights, just as Pike was going to pass up the ground. The kick is good too. Lees, the hand pass is 25 metres. Schaefer returns after being benched late in the second quarter. Waitman a hand pass. Campbell sweeps it out wide to Maxfield. 60 metres from goal. What a thumping kick. Got a bit of a chance. Just offline and through for a minor score to level the scores again.
Well, I think Maxfield was waiting for the Hogg lead, but he was busy wrestling with McIntosh. Couldn't break apart. So he had to put the head down and go for the boom.
Half volley by McKenna. There was a star in the first half with 18 possessions. Up short of centre wing. Here's Maxfield again. The hand pass floating over the top. Grabbed by Knights. What a player. A magnificent pass to Waitman. The Flea's back in business. Can he kick a goal? The answer is yes.
Is Dale Waitman.
The Eagles providing some very lazy football at the present time. The kick in and then the kick for the boundary. Neither of them very good. And again, Maxfield out of the middle. Probing kick down in the Hogg direction. McIntosh appeared to be held by the arm. Controls it well on the ground. Worsfeld dashes away close to the boundary. On tiptoes, Matera marks on his chest.
Been very quiet today, Matera. Been well controlled by Herneman. Only 7 possessions to half-time. Herneman 8.
Matera, high kick. Hines the target over the top. Howard. He's been resolute in defence and he gets it out of bounds. So the Tigers lead by 6 points. What a tonic it would be for them if they could win this. Harding in front. Directs it down to Kemp, who's been pretty good today, towards the boundary line. This is Young running out of space.
Well, Robert Wiley has just instituted a change. He's out there now talking to Don Pike, telling him to man up on Maxfield. Kemp is on Knights. And interestingly, Robert Wiley was in charge of training for most of the week, with Malthouse looking after the junior players on the Eagles list, hoping that he can accelerate their development as players after losing a bit of their depth in the March draft this year.
Harding hooks it out wide. Waterman didn't have the ball. Pike dragged down. Herneman goes in over it. And a whistle.
Yes, a loss of Pios and Laidley. Scott Waters to the Swans really has cut the Eagles one of their strengths, and depth is an important factor in a premiership campaign.
The players they do have out, we mentioned them earlier today, as Waterman kicks it very high. Pike underneath it. It was a touch ball. Knights is in there, close to the boundary line. Kemp keeps it alive. Matera pumps it down towards the 50-metre line. Heady, appear to be held. He's going to get a free kick. They're missing Main Waring a lot, I think, this team at the present time, along with Brenham and Langdon. Heady, long kick. Lewis in the pocket, up in front. Free tries to fist it away. It runs out of bounds.
Dennis, apart from Evans, who's missing again because of injury, I find it hard to understand the sudden loss of form of Craig Turley, runner-up in the Brownlow 2 years ago and dumped to the West Australian competition this week.
Yeah.
Well, I think it must be noted, Drew, that he also struggled last year, came back very strongly in the finals. But he's a player that perhaps Malthouse believes is at the crossroads of his career, and this is a shock tactic, sending him back. It's difficult to win a premiership with the same 20.
Scott goes backwards, a little round the corner, kick by Howard, didn't find touch. Waterman, ooh, just missed. Second behind for Chris Waterman, 5 points the margin. Howard kicks in, rather Bullock kicks in towards the outer side. 2-1 against him, but Turner beat them both and kicks about 45 metres on the turn. Gale drops the mark up near centre wing. He's got trouble now with Jakovic. And the ball up is forced just outside the centre square. On the bench at the moment for Richmond are Bremen and Naish. And the Eagles found a couple of non-contributors in the first half, and benched are Metropolis and Ball, who had 3 and 4 possessions respectively. Wilson towards the boundary line. Daniel Metropolis, and there is the Eagles bench with Metropolis and Ball. Daniel Metropolis had 1 kick in the first quarter for a magnificent goal from the boundary line, but had only 1 more kick for the half. Ball out of play again, so a real stalemate at the moment. 50 plays 45, Richmond leading. They have the breeze in this quarter, but that hasn't proved to be an advantage in this game so far. Because look at the packs. It's just hard to get a possession in there. And
this is the reason why football at the present time is becoming so tight in the finishes. Already today we saw a 2-point victory. The coaches are closing down the good players in the opposition. In fact, many of them are sending them to the half-back line and the full-back line to avoid their taggers.
Big thump out by Harding. It's taken by Howard. His left footer could be a bit dangerous from behind Pike. Hurridy gets boot the ball, back to full forward. Sumich can't mark, he's held. Free kick to Sumich right in front.
Oh. Lewis has been cleaned up behind play in the act of kicking a goal. I don't think it was too untoward. Did cop one high from Barry Young. And you'll see it in the background. Lewis there. Oof, well. Getting back to Sumich. He was held. Lewis there holding his left cheekbone.
So, a free kick to Sumich. The Eagles have kicked 2 goals from 50-metre penalties. But this free kick, if he kicks a goal, will put the Eagles in front. They lead by a point.
Eagles by a point then. There's the time remaining. It's Schaefer. Paul Harding. Harding had the run. Schaefer did well. Knocked on by Lees down towards centre half forward. Wilson. Little toe poke. Oh. Pushed in the back was Knights, but Jakovic heard the whistle, and obviously Lambert didn't.
Well, I thought that was a bit of a tiggy touch of one, but he's missed out in a couple today, Knights, so just squaring the ledger a touch.
Good kick. McQueen on the lead. Terrific kick, that one. Led him to the ball perfectly.
Yes, Knights has a booming left foot kick, as do a number of the Tigers. And McQueen, who has pace and strong hands, didn't let him down, found space, the kick was good, setting up an easy shot at goal.
This to regain the lead for the Tigers. It's bending back, hit the post, 2/3 of the way up. Scores a level again.
Well, McQueen read that one correctly. The wind brought the ball back. It just started out a little bit behind players, a little bit to do behind the goals. In defence for the Tigers, Sumich and Bullis having a bit of push and shove. The big problem for the Tigers, I think, is that they're perhaps playing at their best, whereas the Eagles have got another gear. And their task, of course, will be just to maintain them in that third gear and close the game up as much as possible.
Here's Waitman in front of the pack. A little hand pass to get around Wilson, an ex-teammate. But the ball is seen over the boundary line by Matera. And we'll have a throw in on the 50.
Good save there from Matera. Waitman was away. Emergency umpire comes on, must be feeling a little bit cold on the boundary, just wanting to warm up.
It's about 180 metres away from the ball, which is about 30 metres from goal here, overrun by Turner and kicked out of defence by White. Lamb for the Eagles. He's swamped. White scoops up. The hand pass is good to McKenna. Gathers on the half volley, and Guy McKenna goes for a bounce down the outer wing. Sumich and Lewis break from the goal square after they're fighting, and Sumich has it. And that could well be 50. No, not this time. Well, they kicked 2 from 50-metre penalties, the Eagles. And you can't get any closer than 51 each. So Richmond had better be careful.
And the skills of Guy McKenna on display here. He did the right thing in looking up as he was bouncing the ball. Often players run to their limit.
Well, if that's not 50...
That has to be 50, doesn't it?
3 paces late.
Sumich has kicked 2. This to put the Eagles in front by 6 points.
Free has it for Richmond, then lost it. Wilson had it charged down. Against the flow was Lamb. Well done. And Jakovic emerges with it. Good-looking kick. Up comes Lees, though. Courageous mark.
Well, Lees started in the middle of this quarter, taking the centre bounces as a ruck rover, but he's been pushed back to defence. And now the game is in the balance. The Tigers must find another gear.
Knights from half-back. Finds a teammate. That's Herneman. He's on the wing. Bright and sunny for the present. Herneman. Some height on this kick. They'll contest about 50 metres out. Jakovic.
There from Gale.
May have had the sun to contend with, but Jakovic boots it high back towards the wing. McQueen does well, wrestling there with Hines and won it. There's across the ground. Campbell, who's drifted out of the game since making a reasonable start, has the ball alongside the centre circle. Hogg comes on a long lead. That's the direction the kick takes. McIntosh is there. It was simply too high. Lambert did well, and again, but dragged down. Well, he tried to beat the tackler. It will be a ball up just inside the 50.
Richmond in attack. Huge pack around this. Palmed over by Turner. Lamb grabs it. Out to Worsfold. His kick around Waitman. Waitman will be first back there. Or Knights. Gee, actually, Worsfold got to his own kick. The ball goes out of bounds. And the crowd rise to the Eagles skipper.
Great example of that.
Schaefer from behind, and a big leap by Turner. Still some spring in his legs at this stage. McKenna, a little hand pass to Heady. Backhander by Turner, grabbed by Menegola. Kemp intercepts. He's at half back for the Eagles. The hand pass, bit of trouble for Worsfold. He's pulled off his kick. Great tackle by Waitman. Wilson, no room through there. This typifies the game, this little passage of play. They're going nowhere, the Eagles. The whistle has gone. It's gone out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Whew, wasn't that tough stuff?
Wilson
Certainly was.
a nodding acquaintance with Minagola. Watch this.
McQueen in the back pocket. Hines on the ground for the Eagles.
Worsfold towards the boundary line. And it will be thrown in. So stakes are high, of course. Whoever loses 1 and 2, and suddenly with a lot of teams ahead of them. There's our scoreline. McKenna. Worsfold over the ball, slaps it back in the direction of the Eagles' goal. It's a long way away, though.
Taken high.
Lamb, he was, and he'll get the free.
One right in the mush for Dwayne Lamb. He's had a pretty tight battle with Lambert all day, and there's Dale Waitman letting one just slip a little bit high.
So Lamb has the ball out of the back pocket. Hugs the boundary with a kick. Schaefer has it knocked away by Harding, and it will be thrown in. 8-9 is 7-9. Eagles defending at the present time. Just over 11.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Tough, uncompromising game of football. Kemp, McKenna, 2 stars for the Eagles. Schaefer goes back and takes a timely mark. Plays on to Knights, the star for the Tigers. He's away. Another thumping kick on the breeze. They'll contest on the kickoff line. Jakovic read it superbly. As McIntosh and Hogg wrestled, he slipped across in front and fisted the ball, angled it towards the boundary.
Yep, worth a mark in defence, that. Midway through the third quarter. Eagles lead by 6 points. Richmond in attack here. Lamb gathers the rolling ball. He's kicked to centre wing to Waterman. Being run down by Scott. Wide open here. West. Good kick by Waterman. He's gone on to get the return hand pass. West goes long with his kick, but ill-directed. And Lees gets away from Lewis to take the mark, and Lewis gives him a glare.
Well, it is an example of a player just running too far. All the forwards up the ground have made position, and West, having put himself under pressure, was left with just the long bomb and an easy turnover to the Tigers.
Scott gets to the front, can't take the mark. Schaefer, a scoop as a throw. Free kick to Harding. Been pretty good in the first couple of games, Schaefer, but disappointing certainly in the first half today, and was benched at one stage in the second quarter. Harding, infield and backwards as well to the skipper.
Matera has little influence on this game at the present time. Perhaps Malthouse would consider moving him to a forward pocket or even a back flank to get him into the game.
Worsfold takes on Turner and wins. Goes looking for Hines, who must get a free. That was silly defence, really. Going back, I think Lee's just got an arm across his forehead.
Yes, an errant arm. Dennis, you called it correctly. It's almost like John Nichols in the ruck in days gone by, where one hand went into the mush and the other one went for the ball.
There's Hines. From 30 metres out, important kick. It's close. He's missed to the near side. Margin now is out to 7 points. 8-10, 7-9.
Interesting battle there on the wing. You talk about Matera, just 9 possessions. The man on him, Herneman, also 9 possessions. Both South Fremantle players, and Herneman has done particularly well. In their direction this time. Schaefer takes the mark. Waitman pops it up towards centre wing to Knights. Kemp did well. Terrific mark. Came from nowhere.
Exquisite skills. Kemp reminds me of Robert Flower with his hands.
I said that to Don Scott and he laughed at me.
Kick by Pike. Young is back there. He'll need to get this out. And he does eventually.
Don Scott has never been a real admirer of the skills of the game, other than the hurly-burly of coming straight through like the Southern Aurora. And, of course, ruck work.
Eagles in attack here. Lewis has been very quiet. Through goes Heady. Can't win a possession. Well, it's just about being played like a wet weather game. It's packs, it's scragging, it's tackling, and I, for one, am enjoying every minute of it.
Well, I think it's the game of the 90s that we're seeing displayed right in front of us.
Great day's footy, eh? Up at the Gabba, so tight, and now this one. Waterman gave it away. Schaefer back towards the wing. Lambert Was he held? Not according to the umpire. Lambert, though, with dash, boots it through the wing, down towards half forward. Wilson. Gale did nicely. Howard goes back, but arriving quickly was White to Wilson. McKenna chips it across. 2 players free. Worsfold. Some worrying signs now for the Tigers. Worsfold into the path of Sumich.
And that was a training drill by the Eagles. Worsfold knew exactly where to go. The Eagles had that flank vacant. Worsfold didn't even bother looking. He just banged the ball down, weighted it correctly, and there he was. The goal-kicking machine, as we can call him at times. It's also the point-kicking machine at times.
It's a machine that can splutter. Here he is from just outside the 50, going at his 4th. It's bending back. It's a good-looking effort. It's a goal.
Well, the scores were level at half-time. The Eagles now lead by 13 points. They've kicked 3 goals in this quarter, all to Peter Sumich. He has 4 for the game. They've lost it in the middle. Scott takes it away for the Tigers. Richmond need to bounce back with a couple now. Almost a fantastic mark from behind, but nothing doing. McKenna, short pass, a little bit too short. Knights with the tackle. Now McKenna on the overlap. Kemp round the boundary line, and West low to the ground takes the mark. Under 7 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Kemp for the 3rd time. Short pass to Heady, 65 metres from goal. Lewis leads from the goal square. Sumich in there as well. And I'm afraid Richmond's defence is in tatters at the moment.
Well, it was always going to be their weakness, the Demons. They have John Howard, who was centre-half back in the first half, up to centre-half forward at the moment. But perhaps the biggest problem is that the midfielders have lifted for the Eagles, supplying the forwards with more opportunities.
Peter Sumich for his 5th. No problems.
Now, of course, it's almost in reverse.
So Peter Sumich is on a tear, and so are the West Coast Eagles. Matera gives it to McKenna. This is Jakovic. Keeps it in front, Jakovic. Harris there by Gale. Pike in trouble. Now Harding with dash. And he'll get a free kick. Attempted trip there. So Paul Harding has the ball. The Eagles have the lead. It's out to 19 points. Harding has played well. High kick towards half forward. Waterman the leaper. Turner, sweeping hand pass, not the option. It should have gone to Knights. Now Lees in trouble. Lees and Clappe. Lees did well to redeem the situation. Now Breeman, a runner outside. That's Campbell. Campbell goes down towards half forward. In front is Gale. Oh, good grab. Good mark. Plays on immediately. Knights, 70 metres from goal, looking for Hogg. In close attendance, McIntosh. Lamb shovels it out. Worsfold, who's been resolute. McIntosh. Suddenly, that gear that Gerald was talking about has really been found. Waterman. Hines has the ball on the wing.
Lewis, a long way up from the goal square. Sumich one out. The pass in his direction. He's on fire, Peter Sumich. Well, Bullis has been a spectator as the passes have been perfect for Sumich.
Well, it's difficult to be critical of Bullis because the passes, as you say, Drew, have been into space, and Sumich has just had the opportunity to run in and take chest marks.
This for his 5th goal of the quarter. Well, not that time. So it's 5 goals, 2 for Sumich. At the other end, Jeff Hogg has kicked 3 goals, 2. And the margin is 20 points. This game, which has been about a kick the difference all the way, all of a sudden isn't.
Bullis had to stretch out. He was held. The mark wasn't paid, but the free kick was.
I think one of the biggest factors is that the Eagles have been able to maintain a very open forward line in this quarter. Previously, Richmond had really clagged up their whole forward line and not enabled Sumich to find space.
Here's Herneman running out of space and time. Gale looking for Knights. It sits well for him. Knights is well claimed, though, by Kemp. Kemp has had a very good game. It's been an enthralling duel, that one. Boundary throw in. Gale goes back, gets it down. Knights. Clappe against the flow did nicely. Wilson, long kick from behind Young, the leaper. 3 Richmond players up. Heady Herneman got a hand in there just as well. This is Turner, swung as he kicked, floats one back towards the middle, and McKenna was being held onto. It goes against Bremen.
Guy McKenna now up to 28 possessions. And what a beautiful kick to Heady, who's 30 metres out in the clear. His opponent will feel guilty. The pass to Sumich again.
Well, all sides visiting Subiaco must be aware that when the Eagles get the football, there is always a loose man out on the outer wing. This occasion it's Heady. I would assume that it's a set play, that somebody bursts out there. Remember Stan Ells for North Melbourne, champion wingman, did it in a final to perfection, winning them a grand final along the way. And it's important that the next kick was delivered superbly to Sumich.
Peter Sumich, what a third quarter he's played. But his last two kicks have been disappointing. They've both been behinds.
Just squaring up the ledger a little bit. Kicked 3 in a row there. Now it's back to a couple of points.
Once again, the scoring being done into the breeze. It gives Richmond hope for the last term.
Yes, the best of the scoring done at that end. Scott gets it across and releases Herneman, who runs to the wing. The Tigers not done with yet. He kicks inside the 50. Going back down there, Worsfold. Well played by White. Lamb, did he duck into it? The umpire elects to let them go on with it. And Jakovic tidies up. Hogg was brought down in a strong tackle. McKenna gets it across to Matera, who in turn goes looking for Jakovic. He's in trouble. Dragged down by Bremen. Howard tries to soccer it, but it ricochets off Lamb. Now an opportunity for Matera. Swings it out wide. Hines has it on the wing. 10-12 to 7-9. The Eagles in front. Heady on the lead. Matera fights Menegola, I think, is it, or Turner off the ball. Meantime, it comes down towards half forward. It's going to be 50. Now, I was watching the fight. It was Turner and Matera, but 50 against the Tigers sets up a goal-kicking opportunity for Brett Heady.
Well, the umpire might be explaining it to Alistair Scott. I wish he'd run up here and explain it to us.
So Heady should kick this. And if he does, the lead will be out to 27 points. Peter Sumich, the star in this term. That's 5 goals for the game. Heady looking for his second. And he's put it through.
Five goals to 1 in this quarter, and the West Coast on top now. In the last minute, McKenna taken high.
Oh.
Holding the ball, says the umpire. It's a Richmond free kick. Well, I've never seen the like of that.
Well, it was an interesting piece of play. Initially, it was a great spoil from Worsfold. He went up with 2 fists and punched the ball in the direction of McKenna, which takes the act of spoiling to a new level. Bruce Dool being the master of it. And here's the incident on play.
Well, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well,
unbelievable.
We've seen the gang tackle. That was the gang argue. The whole team was there. I think they were all right.
Dale Wakeman needs to be a little careful too.
Well, this could be a charity goal to Richmond right on the siren for three-quarter time. Listen to the hooting by the Perth crowd. It's 27 points the difference at the moment. A late goal for the Tigers. Right on the siren. Well, there'll be a fair bit of discussion about that, but perhaps about 3 50-metre penalty goals for the West Coast Eagles as well. The margin is 21 points at the last change. The Eagles leading 11-12-78 to Richmond 8-9-50.
Kemp and Knights, stars for their respective teams. Umpire Van Beek sends us away.
21 points the margin. The Eagles in front going into the last term. Waterman off the ground, Heady in front.
That was an intelligent kick by Waterman. Gave the Eagles the advantage, and Heady in front once again.
Sumich leading, the kick not for him. Harding should have taken the mark.
Well, very fortunate Harding. A very poor attempt at marking. Soft butter hands, and we'll have a look at it now. There it goes, straight through the middle. Fortunately, he got the free kick. but has had a pretty good game all the same.
Here's Schaefer off the ground again for Richmond. And Harding kicking for goal from about 45 metres out. Always left. His first score for the day. 22 points the difference. The Tigers, who've never won in Perth, can they rally in this last quarter and outscore the Eagles by 4 goals in the last half hour?
Well, they've gone right away from their first half game plan, Richmond. They're now playing a 6-man forward line. Prior to that, they played a 4-man forward line, having their other players up the ground, blocking up the Eagles.
Bullis on the lead towards the boundary line. Will it sit for him? Nobody's touched it yet. Now they have. Lambert close to the boundary line. Eventually it just spills across, but I think we had a whistle before that from the central umpire who wants to bounce it. 11-13, 8-9. The Eagles led by 5 points at quarter time. It was square at half time. But the Eagles playing their best football in the third term. Harding almost picked it up. Robbie West has played pretty well today in a supporting role. Just pushing the ball across the boundary line. They'll probably persevere with him. He's got some ability.
So's that man.
Yes, without question. Lambert. So's Knights. Haven't tried so hard. Herneman. Well tackled by Kemp. Matera to Lamb. Back to Matera. Loves the situation. Loves to kick a goal and does.
And the original turnover came when Herneman had the ball jolted out of his arms in a tackle. And he would have hated looking up and seeing his opponent dashing towards goal, kicking it.
Yes, he's done a fine job on Matera. One of the more difficult tasks in football at the moment is keeping that man quiet. He's got so much ability.
New footy. Turner in the ruck, replacing Schaefer, who's off the ground. Maxfield goes out of the air. White. Hand pass intercepted by Bremen, just like Bremen was still an Eagle. Little hand pass comes into Maxfield. Long, kick the full forward, but too long. Waitman did pretty well then. No right to get a fist of that ball. He's in there again. Hogg hit the deck, and we'll have a throw in alongside the behind post.
Jeff Hogg, wasn't he?
Well, I thought Maxfield's kick didn't really do much for the Tiger forwards. He's aiming it at Waitman. It went too high for him. Should have been out in space.
Gale back to back there with Jakovic. Campbell, hurried kick. And across the face, out of bounds on the full.
Well, speaking about having the ability to lift, Campbell is one who must find something if the Tigers are to get back into this game. Very talented player, has been pretty quiet since quarter time.
28 points the margin. Harding the target, interfered with by Turner, says the umpire. Advantage is paid now. Pike has got it. Well, the umpire was pointing the wrong way. We sound like we're knocking the umpires a bit, but the players had every reason to be confused there because I looked at him and he was signaling a free kick for Richmond.
I think the problem with the advantage rule is that players, since they were 5 years old, have been programmed to stop on the whistle. And when you play advantage, it often just puts the side without the football at too great a disadvantage.
And
There's
again,
another one.
and again.
He's given advantage to a player surrounded.
And stationary. But they got out of it because of the skill of Lambert and Knights. The umpire should thank them later. They made him look good. And this is White. The umpires generally in the first half umpired pretty well. Just a few that stick in the mind in the second half. This is Hines. Awkward one. Matera did nicely. West. Waterman peels off. It should have gone again. West goes long though. In from the side. Clappe. Menegola did well. Good mark. Plays on in the goal square. Boots it out wide. Looking for Howard. He'll need to go. Lewis comes back strongly. Howard, great courage. Thought he was taken high. Play goes on. Howard not rewarded. Lewis does well. Strong tackle. Got Young down. And now Hines back to goal. Swings it across. Waterman. Well, he was free about 40 seconds ago. And no one bothered to pick him up in the interim. He should kick a goal from directly in front.
Loose checking from the Tigers once again on a turnover. Waterman gets some space and gets an easy shot at goal. It's been their downfall in the last half. Very open forward line for the Eagles, men getting on their own.
Waterman pulls the kick. Talking about the players being programmed, it's long been a pet theory of mine that umpires too find it very difficult to maintain concentration, and it's understandable with only really one set of supporters at a game. And I think quite often the roar of the crowd alerts them to certain things, and it seems a more natural environment than just one set of supporters, and generally quiet quite often around other decisions. As Hines goes to the pocket, and Heady. So Heady right on the boundary line. 12-14, 8-9.
Yes, well, we often speak of the Victoria Park factor, where Collingwood end up with many free kicks where they're perhaps a little bit dubious, and a similar situation occurs at all interstate venues with a one-sided crowd.
Heady from just outside the 50. It's coming back, not enough. Flying the pack, and eventually Howard gets the ball out of there. Not a long way, so we'll have a boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the behind post. Free kicks in this game are 22-18 in favour of the West Coast Eagles. Turner, two-fister, giving away a free kick in ruck. And the umpire speaking to Menegola, so it had nothing to do with Turner. Clappe to take the free. Menegola there, number 29, getting rid of Clappe before Turner thumped the ball out. Matt Clappe, 1 goal, 3. Chris Waterman, who kicked it behind a while ago, 3 behinds. Clappe, another error. So maybe now we can point to the score and think, well, maybe the Eagles should be a lot further than their 30 points in front, because it's 27 scoring shots to 17.
Get the feeling that may still happen. A real test here for the Tigers. This is Campbell in the back pocket. To be hoped Richmond can run it out now and remain competitive as the ball comes up towards the wing. It was Gale who flew in front. Lewis had it socket away by Free, knocked on by Lamb, taken by McQueen, back to the path of Free. Free gathers and kicks towards half forward. High ball, it hung in the air a long time, and Wilson worked his way in front and took a clever mark. Runners to the outside. He pops it out to Jakovic. Alongside him is Lewis, who tells him to go. The kick down towards half forward, and Heady close to the boundary line. It spills out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. Michael Malthouse, very vocal at three-quarter time. Of course, a member of Richmond's 1980 premiership team. McQueen goes up and fists it back towards the boundary. Lewis in front escorts it across the line.
Another bloke, a member of that team, Dale Waitman. He's still around 13 years later. Started on interchange today, playing his first league game for the season. He's 267th all up. Number 22, Hines, who was a South Australian amongst the West Coast Eagles, 3 times Port Adelaide premiership player. Turner seems to be able to leap all day. The tiredness doesn't seem to affect him. Comes to Matera this time. Close to the boundary line, and now well over the boundary line.
Well, the way it's going for the Tigers, they're going to run out losers. Perhaps they should try some moves, perhaps getting Jeffrey Hogg, their captain, up to centre half forward. He's cooling his heels along with Dale Waitman in the forward line. Full forward line, that is. And they haven't got the ball near them at the moment. So what about getting him up into the play?
Lewis goes to the outer side. Hines interfered. A Tiger free kick out there. This is Scott. Up from left half back, working up into the breeze. And the breeze grabs this one. It was a very high kick. In front, Wilson. Two-fisted punch away to White. Back to Wilson. Works a little 1-2. Hines thought about going back again. Cuts infield instead and kicks towards centre half forward. Waterman a little rusty. Dropped that one. And held Turner. It comes across to Lees. Lees to Howard. Howard boots it out wide. Kemp was off the ball, jostling with Knights and drifting in front of the pair. Campbell took the mark. Campbell looks across the ground. Intended for Gale. Good kick too as Gale comes up. Takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Hogg on the lead. Jeff Hogg. About 35 metres out from goal. Started well, but the supply has dried up. He's got 3 for the afternoon.
Yeah, good mark there from Gale. The ball was swinging in the air. Did well to control it and move the ball on quickly. when their full forward is up against McIntosh, that's what must happen.
He kicks it. The margin will be back to 4 goals. And he's missed. So 29 points the difference.
And he has missed 3 times now, Jeff Hogg. Goals or shots at goal that you would expect him to convert.
Yes, not quite the same performance as his 7 goals of last week. Here's Kemp going for a gallop round the outer side. Up towards half forward. Waterman charging at it. Just inside the line. Comes off him and a boundary throw in. John Northey on the phone. Actually, the Tigers were really fired up for this game last year. And, Jared, I believe it had something to do with an article that you wrote. They still claim that one.
Well, I guess it would have fired them up too, Drew.
There was talk from your pen about a Richmond-Melbourne merge, and Tigers weren't too happy about it and decided to really come over here, and anyway, they didn't get the points. Sumich on the turn, and Peter Sumich misses, and that for him is 5 goals 4.
And it has been a pretty similar result, pretty competitive to half-time. The Tigers just running out of, well, you could say ability or steam or whatever, but the Eagles just too good, it appears.
Menegola to the outer side. McQueen is out there. She's got a free. And we'll get one eventually. Coming back onto Harding. Lays it off to Young, who finds Knights just inside the boundary. Over the top to Turner at full stretch. He gathers it well. They haven't stopped trying all day, the Tigers. Down towards Hogg. He got a hand to it. He's going to get a free kick. So Jeffrey Hogg, a look of determination. He wants to kick this one.
Well, if he finishes this one, it would suggest that the game isn't over yet. But the Tigers can't afford to keep going forward and not converting.
McIntosh had him by the arm. So Hogg and his 4th. Just over 14 minutes remaining. Has to kick this. Again, it's close. It's a goal.
Harding charges at them in the middle and wins the tap out. Off the ground goes Howitt towards the outer side. Clappe, number 32. Lees grabbed him when he didn't have it. Free kick going to the West Coast Eagles. Campbell giving it up.
Turner limping in the middle of the ground, doesn't look too good.
Hines running out of room. He was run to the boundary line. Lewis around the corner. Popped the kick up high. Back to Hines. 60 metres out from goal. Sumich leads in short. Path to Sumich is cut off by Howard. Didn't do much to get rid of the ball out of there. Hines again. Young turning into trouble. Campbell. Free. Richmond free kick. Being held when not in possession, and Peter Matera not too enamoured with the decision. Comes back to Campbell.
Campbell in short. And McQueen cross half back. Boots it high through the wing. From behind Bremen, almost marked it. He was about 4th in the queue. Jakovic grabs it. Floats one towards half forward. McQueen from behind. Lewis took his eye off the ball. 3 didn't. Sockers it out wide. That goes Lamb to Kemp. Kemp with dash. Kicks inside the attacking 50. Here comes Sumich. It bounces in front of him and runs away. Out of bounds then. We'll have a throw in. 12-16 to 9-10. So the margin is 24 points. Schaefer and Naish look on.
It's not a great day for Chris Naish. Has had reasonable form to date. Hasn't been able to get involved at present.
Matera running goal with Sumich is on over the top. Open goal, as easy as you like.
Back in the middle with 12 minutes to go. Harding wins again. Down to Pike, out of the centre square. McQueen leads the race for the Tigers. Quick gather and the deliver to Young. Short pass to centre wing. Mark to Herneman. And Matera has got away from him. Now 17 possessions for Peter Matera. Kicked by Herneman towards centre wing. Punched down by Lamb from Lambert. Tigers have got it though. Lee's round the corner. Bouncing ball in the direction of Hogg. Waitman's there as well. 3 Eagles, 2 Tigers. Eagles win. Worsfold across to Jakovic, and a beautiful pass. Sun in his eyes, didn't even bother Harding. Here's Matera dashing away from centre wing. Looks for Sumich. Menegola did particularly well. The hand pass up to McQueen. Menegola kept going, running straight up the centre corridor. Second grab, Howard. Left footer. A mighty kick, but offline and a behind.
Well, perhaps I've been a bit hard on Herneman, because it appears now that Campbell's been shifted onto Matera. Herneman up on the half-forward flank.
Harding is off the ground. Ball is on. As McIntosh goes in short and finds Wilson. 13-16 to 9-11. 29 points then. The Eagles in front. To win this, it won't be without a fight. This is White to McKenna, one of the very best today from halfback, goes short. They're queuing up the Eagles out there to mark and couldn't. Campbell fights an honourable fight. Still he goes. Weight of numbers tells the story as Hines gets it across to Pike, who boots it down a half forward. Ball, a new man on the ground under the ball. It runs free behind. Heady expected a shepherd from behind. It wasn't forthcoming, and Young nabbed him. West to Kemp, though. They're running on the better, the West Coast Eagles, and this is Waterman. Looking a little stockier than last season. He will kick from just inside the 50. Chris Waterman, the most valuable player for the West Coast Eagles since he was recruited. Came from East Fremantle. Has he got the accuracy? I fancy he has.
9.5 minutes remaining. 3 goals to 1 in the last quarter. And the Eagles getting right on top. Knights gets the hand pass out but can't clear the area. Lambert goes back to Turner. Up towards the 50-metre line. Jakovic. Been very productive the outer wing in this quarter. Pike up towards half forward. Poor kick though. Scott should have taken the mark. There's Ball. Scott applying the tackle. Knights with Kemp, the two blondes. Umpire comes in and will ball it up. Well, the Eagles are far from banged on 10 goals in this last quarter yet, but I saw a very similar game last Sunday where class shines out at the end. And last week the Swans and Hawthorn were dead level at three-quarter time. Today this was dead level at half-time, when the Eagles really got going and oiled the machine. And this is what started to happen. Matera, I thought he was going to find Heady then on a bit of a break, but Matera's kick was a little bit wide. Still 8.5 minutes to go, so still the chance for the Eagles to really look as though they've buried Richmond, or a chance for Richmond to fight right back.
Ball goes up. Goes to the boundary line west, and Menegola runs out of bounds again. Now the West Coast Eagles will play Brisbane on this ground next Sunday, so it's a nice draw for them to start, even though they're not playing that well. They are acquiring some victories. They can look forward to games they would expect to win, as that ball is booted wide there by Turner. It bounces out of bounds. Of course, they've got to be won. Richmond showed in the first half that teams can come here with the right attitude and make it hard for the Eagles. Unfortunately, the Tigers couldn't go on. Lewis is coming off the ground now. Metropolis is coming back on as McQueen thumps it wide. Knights, who's been terrific, goes off the ground. Hines in the road, though, to Lamb, the most experienced Eagle. He pumps it very high. Sumich in front, fisted away by Bullis. Sumich, the recovery across his body. It's floating goalward. Going back, Lees did very well. That was a hard one to find. He took the mark on his chest. Boots it wide. Now Free will need to go. He's outnumbered 2-1. And he's been penalised for reaching over the shoulders of Metropolis.
Loud and long applause for Chris Lewis as he comes off the ground. One of his better days. 9 kicks, 1 hand pass. Metropolis, who replaced him, kicks up towards the goal square. A climb by Waterman, no mark. Desperation shown by Scott to rush it behind. 14-17 to 9 goals 11.
Richmond now have moved Jeff Hogg to centre half forward. Gale is in the square. I'd like to see Naish back on. In fact, it's Howard in the square. And Gale moving up to take a shot at this grab.
Not required, because McKenna is between he and the ball. Took a very clever mark. That's the best on ground, McKenna. This is Clappe. Towards centre half forward and ball. Awkward one, low down. Queen goes back. Quick hands, but intercepted by Waterman. He could kick a goal here from 40 metres out. He has.
6 1/4 minutes remaining. 42 points the margin now. Knights. Matera with this one. And uncontested to a ball that hung in the air for about a week and a half.
Play on is the call. The umpire was telling him to play on for about a full 15 seconds there, and he was standing out of bounds.
Heady taken down when he didn't have it. Might have been unlucky to get a free kick then. Young gets the hand pass up to Lees. Back to Bullis. Kick by...
No one to kick it to.
So he's kicked it straight to the man who's dominated the ball all day, Guy McKenna. McKenna is now up to 31 possessions. Metropolis. Down to the forward pocket. Isn't Waterman moving around in this last quarter? High tackle on West. No whistle. Waterman again. Into the behind post, and we'll have the boundary throw in. Just over 5 minutes to go. 7 goals the margin after the scores had been level at half-time. But since the half-time break, Richmond have managed just 3 goals, while the Eagles have gone on their merry way with 9.
Bullis and Metropolis carried the ball across the line, rushed behind.
Wakeman has been moved up onto the ball. Did a little bit of run into the legs. Lambert to the forward pocket. It would be disappointing to see the Tigers just fall right away. Certainly the signs are there.
Turner in front. Hines from behind. Campbell spikes it. Lees picks it up. Bremen in front. Almost got a free. Was Waitman held? Not according to the umpire. Gale's hand pass high. Matera slaps it away. Bremen knocks it goalward. Storming up the ground against the flow is Wilson. Well played. Great dash. Landed in no man's land. Knights the first to go in and get it. This is Herneman. Now we've got a whistle. The ball is coming back. It's going to be a free kick to Waitman, is it? Well, why wasn't the advantage paid? Waitman's got the ball back near the middle.
Well, I think it's a difficult rule, and it's difficult for the umpires to interpret. It confuses the crowd. They're the ones who keep the game ticking over, so perhaps we should look at whether it's worthwhile.
The Tigers finished up with the ball, although Lamb's got it now. Boots it back towards the wing. In round 4, Richmond, one of 3 sides that will have a bye. This is Bremen. High kick inside the attacking 50. Gale props in front. McIntosh did well. White draws foul. They'll bring it away. Nothing much on around the outer side, so McIntosh decides to run it out to Kemp. Thought about going back to McIntosh, and does eventually. He waited beautifully. Through the middle, Clappe then. On the lead, Sumich. That's brilliant football. It doesn't get much better than that. Open goal square. Sumich ignores that, goes in short, finds Hines. And Hines now a chance to kick from about 30 metres out. Quick transference of play, end-to-end stuff. 6 players handling the ball. Hines spoils the good work. Misses to the near side. The behind stretches the lead though. Pretty one-sided now. 15-19 to 9-11.
It is the more difficult end to be kicking goals. Despite the fact you have a tailwind, the wind is still a factor, whereas at the other end of the ground, the stand will shut out any wind if it is blowing from the westerly direction as it is today. And then it just becomes a question of how straight you can kick the football.
Yeah, we've lost a football in there somewhere. Eventually it comes out. So once again, the Tigers' trip across the Nullarbor has been for no result. Having won in Perth. Short pass in, finds Campbell. 3 minutes left. Kicked by Campbell up over half-back flank. Drops in a bit short. The ball's there for that man McKenna again. Sweeps the hand pass to Clappe. Inboard to Jakovic. It's showtime now. The hand pass to Matera. Standing start by him. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, the intensity of the Tiger tackling has fallen away dramatically in the second half. And it has allowed the Eagles to really put the foot down and clamp on a lot of scoring shots. Must give a mention to Kemp. I think his second half has been exceptional.
Matera again then. This is to the other side this time, having missed in the right full forward pocket. He puts it out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. 15-19 to 9-11. Here's free. Just over 2 minutes till full time then. Members side with a kick. Kemp. Well, if anyone is rivaling McKenna as best on ground, it's probably this man. Best and fairest for the Eagles last season. Just a marvellous play. From 60 metres out. Gets onto the spiral. That's a good feeling. And the mark is held by Ball. Now it's going to be a Tiger free. He interfered with his marksman McQueen. 30,500 today, so a very good crowd to watch this game. I'm talking about lack of success. Drew was making the point the Tigers haven't won in Perth, but I think there are some good signs for them today. Some youngsters maturing. Gale's returned too. I've liked his game today, and their attitude was terrific in the first half. They'll win a few before the season's out without wishing to patronize them. This is Campbell, away to Young, who hand passed and was held a fair while. Brilliant stuff, McKenna, though. Matera, little chip pass.
In the back. Herneman to take the free kick. Played in the grand final here last year for South Fremantle. Kicked by Herneman. Lees is there, uses the hip to get rid of an opponent. And Worsfold flips the ball out of bounds. A good flip of about 15 metres. Drawing applause from the crowd here. Been very satisfied, no doubt, with the Eagles' performance after stumbling last week to the Crows. Worsfold, a little one for touch, but he gave it too much. Centimetre imperfect, just over the line. Short pass into Bremen. Bremen might go back and try a big one here. The siren will sound before he kicks, so he might as well get onto a torpedo if he can manage it. Last kick of the day. Kick drops about 9 metres short. And the Eagles have triumphed in front of their home crowd at Subiaco Oval, running Richmond off their feet after half-time. Todd Bremen there, an ex-West Coast Eagle. No doubt many friends in amongst the opposition. Didn't see much of the action today. Spent at least half the game on the bench.
Well, certainly a game played in 2 halves. The first very tight, the second eventually finding the Eagles getting free and creating a lot of opportunities.